Thanks for tuning into the Disembodied Screams podcast. Those returning, thank you. Those new to this podcast, welcome. Now let's go ahead and dive into the lyrics and another spooky song deep dive for Fear of the Dark from the mighty Iron Maiden from their album Fear of the Dark. It goes like this. I am a man who walks alone, and when I'm walking a dark road, at night or strolling through the park, when the light begins to change, I sometimes feel a little strange, a little anxious when it's dark. Fear of the dark, fear of the dark. I have a constant fear that something's always near. Fear of the dark, fear of the dark. I have a phobia that someone's always there. That's pretty creepy. Imagine, if you have a phobia, someone's always there. You never really truly feel alone, right? That's pretty creepy. Have you run your fingers down the wall? Have you felt your neck skin crawl when you're searching for the light? Sometimes when you're scared to take a look at the corner of your room, you've sensed that something's watching you. Imagine waking up at night, have a fear that something's watching you. That would be really, really creepy. Fear of the dark goes the chorus. I have a constant fear that something's always near. Fear of the dark, fear of the dark. I have a phobia that someone's always there. Have you ever been alone at night? I have. Thought you heard footsteps behind and turned around and no one's there. And as you quicken up your pace, you find it hard to look again because you're sure there's someone there. And a little sidebar before I get back to the chorus. I've had that moment with footsteps. Years ago, I was in a house that was, we think it was haunted because everybody in my family, even the skeptics in my family, had things happen to them. But I was talking to my girlfriend at the time, and clear as day at the back of my hall, I was home alone, and I heard footsteps walk from one room to the next. And I heard the creaky floors, like something was walking upon the floors. So, when I hear that line in this song about, this one here about, thought you heard footsteps behind. Well, I've heard footsteps before when I've been alone, and that's pretty fearful. In fact, the room that the footsteps came from, I had a cold spot one time set on me in that room too. Really creepy stuff. That house just had a weird aura, weird vibe to it. So, believe in ghosts or not, I don't know if you do or not. I lean more towards believing than not believing. But what I call myself a skeptical believer. Like, I've had experiences, but I don't know if it's exactly what it is sometimes. But that one time, I'm pretty daggone sure that was a ghost. All right, moving on. Fear of the dark, fear of the dark. Have a constant fear that something's always near. That's the chorus. I've repeated it before. And I'm not going to repeat this fear of the dark a bunch of times, but fear of the dark, fear of the dark. It just keeps going for a bit, but I ain't no Bruce. And I love this next line too. Watching horror films the night before, debating witches and folklores, the unknown troubles on your mind. Maybe your mind is playing tricks. You sense and suddenly eyes fix on dancing shadows from behind. Watch some horror movies. Definitely can put you in a mental state. Sometimes it does make it a little fearful. I've had watched a few horror movies in my lifetime that kind of want to sleep with a little extra light on as well. So I get it. I understand those lines. All right. Goes on to say, fear of the dark, constant fear that something's always near, fear of the dark, have a phobia that someone's always there. Fear of the dark kind of goes on from there, have a constant fear that something's always near. And then it closes with, when I'm walking a dark road, I am a man who walks alone. All right, that's a spooky song deep dive for Iron Maiden's Fear of the Dark. I'm diving deeper into Maiden on the channel, so be looking for some Maiden stuff. I've got cover rankings. I'm going to eventually drop Peace of Mind. I'm going to look at all the horror-esque nature of Eddie on these covers. So if you do enjoy Iron Maiden, I'm diving deep into them on the channel. Subscribe and all that jazz. And just let me drop anchor here and close out this episode right here. And wherever you are listening to this, just find a way to give this podcast some love. If you're on a podcast platform, just look at it right now when you're done and say, what can I do to champion this podcast and help it to grow and share it with your friends. Same thing for YouTube. Like and subscribe, share it with your friends. All right, go Jake, go. Hold on a second. I had to cough there for a second. Excuse me. Go crank Fear of the Dark today and play it extremely loud. And maybe you actually play it extremely low and sit in a really dark room and let the vibe take you over. Because this song is very vibey. All right, be good, take care, and have a good one.